Good TED Talk Tuesday morning, everybody. James here with Goings Enterprises LLC on the square in downtown Girard. Hoping everybody's having an amazing week. Today's TED Talk Tuesday video is going to be sponsored by Goings Gourmet, of course. Freeze-dried wild berry crunches. We've got three sizes to choose from. This is our 1 ounce $1 bag, perfect for the kiddos. Our 5 ounce $5 bag, and of course our 10 ounce $10 tub. We're not always the cheapest, but we try to be. Please shop around, compare prices. I like to say if I can't make it, package it and sell it to you for $1 an ounce, why even bother? At least with our candies. So today's TED Talk Tuesday video is going to be in response to a question I had last week on last week's video about neutron stars and how it is that a proton and electron could come together to form a neutron inside of a neutron star. So in order to answer this question, we need to understand some fundamentals. So let's start with a supernova. Not to be confused with the hypernova that gives us black holes. Supernovas, as far as we know them, gives us neutron stars. The entire job of the core of a star is fusion. Fusion takes small atoms and compresses them into larger atoms. So you go from hydrogen to helium, so on and so forth, until we hit iron, which we'll come back to. The energy released from fusion is what expands and holds the star upright. Think of air pressure inside of a balloon, okay? Meanwhile, we've got gravity constantly pushing and squeezing in on it, wanting to collapse the star. So what happens in the core is we've formed heavier and heavier atoms, or elements if it's easier to think of it that way, till we hit iron, and we don't have enough energy to compress iron atoms into anything heavier. So instead of fueling the star and giving the star more energy, it actually starts stealing energy from the star. Gravity wins. Gravity always wins. It compresses the star. It collapses the core of the star and causes an implosion, which blows the entire star apart. So what we are left with is what we know as a neutron star. A neutron star, we're talking a celestial body about 10 miles wide. Yeah, they're that small, about 10 miles wide, but so compact, so dense that 1 teaspoon of that material is said to weigh 5 to 6 billion tons. Think compressing Mount Everest down into enough material to fill a teaspoon. So how is this working out? Well, let's look at our atom model, okay? And this would be helium. We've got 2 electrons, 2 protons, and to keep things simple, we'll stick with 2 neutrons. Electrons are a fundamental particle as we know them to be. We can't break them down any further. Protons and neutrons, however, are subatomic particles, if I could talk, made up of smaller particles that we call quarks. And there are multiple types known as flavors in physics, but we're going to stick to 2 main ones. And to keep things simple, we're going to say they have 3, because they do mostly. So why are quarks important? Because this is where protons and neutrons get their charge or lack thereof. And the way this works is up quarks are measured out at 2/3 net positive charge, whereas a down quark is 1/3 net negative charge. Okay? So when you do the math, you've got 2 up quarks, 1 down quark. That balances out to a positive 1 net charge. That's what gives protons their positive charge. Neutrons, on the other hand, they've only got 1 up quark at 2/3 net positive, followed by 2 down quarks, each having negative 1/3 charge, which balances out to 0. All right? And that's why neutrons have no charge. So what happens with something so small yet so dense is it's got a ton of gravity. In fact, the gravity is so powerful that it overcomes the weak atomic force, meaning it forces this electron down. I mean, everything is just squished so dense that it forces this electron ring into the nucleus of our atom, where it makes contact with a proton and it inevitably interacts with an up quark. And when it interacts with an up quark, it switches it to a down quark, and in response, it fires off a little packet particle of energy called a neutrino. And yeah, I said packet particle of energy for a reason that I won't get into. So this is what happens. Our protons are now neutralized into neutrons, and there's no longer an atomic structure, and that's basically a neutron star. A neutron star is just basically a giant mass of neutrons that's super compact. And that's the simple version in a nutshell. If you have any more questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comments. Merch link in bio. The link tree still has to be copy and pasted. We're working on it. I love you guys. Until next time, take care of each other. Be good to each other. Bye.